Let me turn down my playlist. This is a updated makeup 2026, updated makeup 2026 routine for me. I have not done my makeup in a very long time, so we gonna do what we do, okay? You like it, you don't, you don't. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm still rusty or whatnot, and just, you know, update y'all. So let's get to it. And it is gonna be a voiceover while I do this, because I'm not always the best at talking while I do my makeup. I gotta focus. I'm sorry. So enjoy whatever story time I come up with this, okay?
Okay, y'all, so as you can tell by the title, motherhood stopped me from going to hell, right? This is something I don't really talk about. You know, this is a lot because it's kind of deep, but, you know, it saved my life, basically. Spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. I really believe that if I didn't have my daughter when I did, I would have been on a completely different path, and not a good one. Before I became a mom, I was chasing heavy. I was chasing validation. I was chasing being seen. I was chasing being the girl, the pretty one, the popular one, the one everybody looked at and said, she's going somewhere. And the crazy part is I actually was going somewhere, but not in the direction I thought. I love the tension. I love dressing up. I love the aesthetic, the hair, the nails, the outfits, the vibe. I love the feeling of being admired. And I don't think there's anything wrong with liking to look good, but for me, it started becoming my identity. If I wasn't being seen, I felt invisible. If I wasn't complimented, I felt worthless. If I wasn't going viral, I fell behind. And when your self-worth is tied to people clapping for you, you'll do anything, almost anything, to keep them clapping. Okay, y'all, don't judge. I'm gonna be honest about something else too. I used to idolize her dad, and that's hard to say out loud because when you're in it, you don't see it as idolizing. You see it as loyalty. You see it as love. You see it as, I'm just holding it down. But I had him on a pedestal. I excused things I shouldn't have excused. I minimized red flags. I defended behavior that deep down hurt me. I made him bigger than he was in life. And the scariest part, I think I made him bigger than God at one point. His approval meant too much. His presence meant too much. His potential meant too much. I was in love with who I thought he could be, not who he actually was. And when you idolize someone, you start shrinking yourself to keep them comfortable. I got quieter, I tolerated more, and, you know, I started rationalizing more. I told myself, it's not that bad. I told myself, relationships take work. I told myself, he'll change. But then I had my daughter, and one day it hit me so heavy, you know, like it made my stomach drop. What if she grows up and accepts this? What if she thinks love looks like over-explaining yourself? What if she thinks it's normal to beg for emotional consistency? What if she thinks loyalty means enduring things that chip away at your spirit? And I had this moment, I literally pictured her older in my shoes, making the same excuses, and I was sick, y'all, because I would never want that for Athena. I would never tell her, stay because you love him, stay because you see potential, stay because you already are too invested. I would tell her, you deserve peace, you deserve clarity, you deserve a love that doesn't confuse you. And God used that. He didn't expose him in some dramatic way. He exposed him through my daughter, through perspective, through conviction, through that little quiet whisper of, if this isn't good enough for her, why is it good enough for you? And that question broke something in me, not in a bitter way, in a freeing way, because I realized I wasn't just fighting for me anymore. I was setting the standard for what she will tolerate one day. Children don't just inherit, you know, like eye color, hair texture. They inherit patterns, and I refused to pass that down. So I had to stop idolizing a man and start honoring God. I had to take him off the pedestal and put my peace back where it belonged. Motherhood made me see clearly. It made me realize that love without respect isn't love. Loyalty without boundaries isn't strength, and potential is not a promise. I don't hate him, but I thank God for showing me the real him before my daughter grew up thinking that was normal. because sometimes God doesn't remove someone loudly. He lets you see them clearly, and clarity will save you if you're willing to accept it. Okay, so furthermore into this, I was entertaining things I shouldn't have entertained. I was around energy I shouldn't have been around. I was normalizing stuff that deep down I knew wasn't aligned with who I really was. I ignored that voice because attention is loud and conviction is quiet. And then I got pregnant, and I'm not even going to lie to you. At first, I was scared, not just of being a mom. I was scared because I knew my life was about to change, and not in a cute aesthetic way. I couldn't move reckless anymore. I couldn't date reckless. I couldn't party reckless. I couldn't chase every shiny thing. There was someone growing inside me who didn't ask to be here, and she deserved stability. She deserved protection. She deserved a mother who wasn't spiritually lost. Amen. And I remember having this moment while I was pregnant, and I was laying down quiet, no phone, no distractions, and it hit me. I was like, if I kept going the way I was going, I wasn't just risking my peace, I was risking my soul. And that sounds dramatic, but it's true. I was slowly becoming someone I wouldn't even want my daughter to look up to. Motherhood forced me to confront myself. Not the filtered version, not the cute version, the real version, the insecure parts, the pride, the ego, the obsession with image, the need to prove something. Having her made me ask questions like, would I be okay if she dated someone like that? Would I be okay if she dressed just to be validated? Would I be okay if her worth was tied to views and comments? And if the answer was hell no, then why was I living that way? Motherhood stripped me in the best way. It slowed me down. It humbled me. Seriously, it made me sit with myself on nights when she was asleep, and I couldn't hide behind noise anymore. There were moments where I realized I had been walking so close to the edge spiritually, not necessarily doing, the worst things, but drifting, compromising, justifying. And motherhood made compromise feel heavier because now it wasn't just about me. When you become a mom, your decisions echo into the future. And I started caring about legacy more than likes. I started caring more about peace more than popularity. I started caring about alignment more than applause. And I won't lie, there was grief in that. There was a part of me that missed being so carefree, missed being admired, missed the thrill of attention, but there was also a deeper peace forming, a quieter joy. When she would look at me like I was her whole world, it made the world's validation feel small. When she'd reach for me, it made male validation feel empty. When she laughed at something simple, it reminded me that joy isn't luxury trips and perfect pictures, it's presence. Motherhood didn't make me perfect. It didn't instantly make me holy or disciplined, but it interrupted me. It interrupted a trajectory that could have led me, somewhere dark. And I truly believe God used her to pull me back, not in a you're terrible way, but in a you're meant for more than this way. She anchored me. She made me care about the kind of woman I am behind closed doors. She made me want to heal the things I was ignoring. She made me want to pray more, reflect more, slow down more, because I realized kids don't just listen to what you say. They absorb who you are, and I want her to absorb peace, confidence, faith, self-respect, not insecurity masked as confidence, not validation disguised as ambition. Motherhood showed me that I don't need the world to clap for me if my home is full of love, and that changed everything. Now, do I still love dressing up? Yes. Do I still love content? Yes. Do I still love aesthetics? Absolutely, but it's different now. It's not desperation, it's expression. I'm not chasing hell anymore. I'm choosing purpose. And I really believe that if she hadn't come when she did, I would have kept running towards things that looked shiny but were empty. Motherhood didn't trap me, it rescued me. It forced me to mature spiritually. It forced me to detach from certain habits. It forced me to see that my life is bigger than image. And sometimes I look at her and think, you have no idea how much you've saved me. She thinks I'm raising her, but in reality, she's raising me.
You won't leave me alone, even in the unknown. And I'll be right here, and I'll meet you there. I've been through the fire, I've been through the storm. Seen a lot of love, I've seen a lot of war. Took a lot of losses, then I took some more. Even going through it all, I know you fighting for me. Through all my lowest days, when I was losing faith, through all the tears and pain, still though I wouldn't trade. None of it wasn't it all, making me something better than what I've been. And I want it, I'm loving it, let's run it, I'm saying. When I'm low, still I know that I'm not alone. I lean on you and I know you'll keep me strong. Rose up, tryna rise up, had to dead him. Every day I wake up, I'm resurrecting.
If you take me, I'll go even to the unknown. And I'll be right here, and I'll meet you there. You won't leave me alone, even in the unknown. And I'll be right here, and I'll meet you there. Rendezvous, world had me in some funny shoes, turning green from the wicked I was running through. Could've took me out if he wanted to. I know he was hearing me cry. Lord, send me down and let me get my feet right. Now all my bad dreams get a goodbye.